Hi, everybody. It's Mary Ellen from Create With Me, and I'm here in the Creativity Nest for another episode of Teach Me Tuesday. Now, I don't normally do this, but it was just laid on my heart today that I needed to give a little word of encouragement. I don't know why, and I don't know who I'm reaching, but I'm just going to take a few seconds and just reach out to you. And if that's you, just chime in and let me know if it helped or not. So I just want I just know that sometimes life is hard and sometimes there's so many things that are going on and we get really busy or we get overwhelmed. And I just want to give you a word of encouragement, and that is just to focus on something. Hi, Tanya. Just focus on something that makes you happy. So I was kind of thinking of this as I was coloring today, preparing to do this video for you. And I just thought, I've got a lot of things going on, but just this just gives me great joy. So whether that's, maybe you're an organizer, maybe you love to organize, go organize something. Maybe you love to just enjoy nature's beauty, the flowers, the birds, the different things outside. Just focus on that and enjoy it. Maybe you love to cook or bake. Maybe you love to color like me. I just want to encourage you that to see the beauty in something today. So I don't know if that reaches anybody, but I just felt like it was laid on my heart to just give a little bit of encouragement. And Tanya says it's raining where she is. I think she might be up in Chicago area, and it's raining here too. So, but it's raining, but I've got a little hummingbird right outside my window right here, and I'm just focusing on how wonderful that is, and just seeing the birds today. So I am continuing my series on coloring. So I promised you that I would do some coloring with different techniques and different mediums. And today I want to do something that everyone can be successful with. And I don't know what it's called. I have named it flooding. Okay, so you're going to be like, flooding? What's that going to do with coloring at me? But I'm going to show you in just a minute. I'm going to take you down to my desk and I'm going to share a technique that I'm calling today, calling it flooding. And honestly, it doesn't matter what your skill level is, anybody can do this. So I'm going to take you down to my desk. Okay, so I am using the new glass mat, and this is a great technique for the glass mat, but you do not need to have the glass mat to do this technique. And I'm going to show you different ways to use it to do this technique without having this. But today I'm using the glass mat. This is available to people now to purchase, and or is it maybe July? Maybe July you can order it July 1st. So get ready for that. It comes with this great little silicone thing, and I'm going to show you a way to use it today. No fuss, no muss. I'm using Enduring Beauty. This stamp set is a returning stamp set bundle. And remember, our bundles are on sale right now, an additional 10% off. You normally get 10. We're giving you additional, so 20% off only till the end of the month. So if you like what I'm showing you today, this is Enduring Beauty. This is the bundle. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the image. So what I've done, and I'm going to step you through it. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to step you through what I did. I used the Fluid 100 watercolor paper, okay? This is my favorite. So this Stampin' Up sells this Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And what I did is I took my embossing supplies, and what I did was I took my embossing buddy and I covered my paper with the embossing buddy. This is a rosin bag. It will take away my oils from my fingerprints and make a nice clean image. Then I'm using Versamark. Versamark, if you're not familiar, they call it a watermark stamp pad. It's clear, it's sticky, it's great for embossing. It stays wet for a little bit longer so that you can then stamp your image. And I use this big single image here, and I stamped it onto my watercolor paper. I used my black embossing powder. I sprinkled it all over, and then I tapped it off, and then I heated it with the heat tool. Hi, Vita. So that I did in advance because no one wants to listen to my heat tool, and basic embossing, but we're not talking about basic embossing. We're talking about a technique I'm calling flooding. Okay, so what you're going to do is in your little silicone mat, or you're just going to have a cup of water and you're going to have maybe this clear block, just using the back side of the clear block. First, I'm going to add a little bit of water to this larger section right here. And then I'm going to take some re-inkers, and I'm going to tell you what colors I'm using. Petal Pink, and all I'm doing is 1 drop. Okay, if I need more, I'll add it later. Petal Pink and Pretty in Pink. So I'm going light, and then this one's just a little darker, Pretty in Pink. Then I'm going to do my yellows, and I'm doing a Lemon Lolly. That's my light yellow, 1 drop. And then I am doing Daffodil Delight. That's my darker yellow, 1 drop. And then I'm doing my greens. I've got Lemon Lime Twist. That's my lighter green. And I'm using Granny Apple Green. Those are my 2 favorite greens. And I'm going to do a little bit more. Okay, 1 drop, okay? So then you're gonna need, and you could do this on a clear block. It's super, super easy. I like to have a little wet paper towel handy. I like to have a dry paper towel handy, and I'm gonna show you how to do this. So I'm gonna do a little bit, show you how it's done, and then I'm gonna show you my finished project I have over here for you. So you don't have to watch all that. So I like to keep this cup handy just to get my it wet, or I can just dip it into here, dry it off so I'm not soaking wet. And I'm going to start with these leaves right here. You know what? I'm going to see, hold on just a minute. I'm going to take you back here and I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to try to zoom in. Just excuse my arms. Just zoom in just a little bit. All right, now I'll take you back. It's a little harder. I can't figure out how to zoom without doing it that way. So now you can see a little bit better. You know I've got color down here. So I've got my clean wet brush, and all I'm doing is I'm putting water in my leaf. And I'm going to do all 3 of these leaves at once. And I'm just adding a little bit of water. I don't want too much, but I've got my paper towel handy. So all I'm doing is putting clear water. That's all I've done. Super simple. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up my light green, and my light's going to be at the top. So I'll watch what this color does. And when I add the color, it's kind of moving with the water. See how it's moving? Oh, see, it's not quite close enough. I feel like I need to be closer. So I'm going to add color. It's flooding into the spots. I've only had to basically touch, and that moves the color in. Then I'm going to clean off my brush, and then I'm going to pick up some of my dark green, and I'm going to come up from the bottom. Okay, so I went from the top. Now I'm going to come up from the bottom, and it's just basically touching dots, and that water will pull up into, you can see it flooding. It's flooding into the other color. All I'm doing is dotting. I'm not even running my brush around there. So there I've got my 2 tones. Super easy. Can you see the shadow? Almost in this one right here, it almost just looks like it's laying right underneath there, because I've got that dark and it flooded right into that spot. So let's clean the brush off, and I'm going to show you how to do one of these flowers. So I'm going to pick up some water. I'm going to pick up some, but I don't want too much. And I'm going to do a flower that's away from the leaves, because if I go right next to it, I'm probably going to, while it's still wet, I'm probably going to have an issue. So I'm going to just do this. I guess I'll just do this big one over here. And I'm going to add water. I've got a water painter in my hand, and I could squeeze it, but sometimes it's easier to just pick it up. It's more natural, just pick it up from your palette, but I could easily just squeeze it out too. So all I'm doing is flooding this flower with water. Okay. Now I have to decide, what color do I want my flower to be? So I'm going to start with the petal pink. See, I just pulled in just a teeny tiny bit of color. And I'm starting at my top. If I have it wet enough, it will kind of spread itself. It's going to kind of start going down into the flower. I'm just going along the top lines of each of the petals. Okay, and then I'll clean that off. And I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do the, um, what did I have? Pretty in Pink. I'm trying to think. Did I say that? Yeah, Pretty in Pink. And I'm going to start down here, and I'm going around, and I'm letting that color pull up into, you can see it here. It pulled way up into it. So pretty. It just pulls right into that, pulls and floods right into the other. As I touch, see how it, as I touch there, it's pulling up, touching there. It's just that simple. It's that simple. I really hope you'll try this. Let's do one. Let's do one with some of the yellows. Let's see. Can I get this one? I want to get one that here. Let's do this one because the other one is just a little bit too close. So all I'm doing again, wetting. I'll wet this little bud. Wetting. You have questions, please chime in and let me know. Okay, so I've got quite a bit of water on there. Let's try the yellow. So when I add it, because I have so much water, it's pulling, it's pretty much colored the whole image. See how fast that went? Stay tuned because I've got a finished one. And I'm going to pull in the darker yellow. Then I'm going to come down from the bottom and let it blend in to the top. Then if I want to be super fancy, I think I'm going to just pull a dot of that pink in to the center. So there's the center of this flower. See if I just pull it, you see how it's blending in there? And then I'm going to do it just on the top of that petal. So it added just a little bit of pink. Isn't that pretty? So Linda asked, why don't the two colors bleed into each other? So they do bleed into each other. They're definitely bleeding into each other, but the water is resisting so that they're not totally um, making it just into one color. So there's enough resistance in the water that it will pull up into it, but it's not going to completely cover it. And then yes, so go back and watch the beginning. This is embossed, Linda, with Versamark and black embossing powder. So that is what's holding the ink in. So that's why this makes this so super simple because I've got this. If I show it, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't know if it'll show shiny or not. I'm looking at the black, so I can see it. So it's embossed, and that's holding that from just spilling out all over. So that's what makes it so easy. So that's what I'm calling the flooding technique. I'm going to show you one more. I'll do one more leaf. We've got time. I'll just come over here. Now I'm going to get really close to that flower, and it may bleed in, but I'm okay with that because I like color. It doesn't bother me. I'm going to go to the edges. I'm adding clear water. I'm bringing in my light green, and I'm touching the top. I'm just touching the top. So you saw it went all in. Then I'm going to take the dark green, and I'm going to go right at the bottom. And this water, because it's here, the water will push against the other, and it won't completely bleed, but it bleeds in. I'm going right down the middle because there was a spot I missed here. I'm going on that edge, and I like to go along this edge. And I didn't quite get to that edge. So there, that one does have a little bit more bleeding together, but I could wait until it kind of dries and then go back in with a little bit of more of the dark and just touch it just like this. Let me see if I can show you that. So that dark will come up into it, the light goes down into it, and then look how pretty it is. That's started to dry. Okay, so you want to see a finished product? So then I'll use this. If I feel like I've got too much water, sometimes I can go in. If I feel like, oh, I don't want it that dark there. If I just come in and pull that, I can lighten that up. I mean, I liked it the way it was, but I'm just telling you, if you come into some problem or it's just too wet, use the tip of your dry paper towel and that'll work fine. So I made this card earlier, the same color scheme, and I'm gonna just put that out of the way. I did it with the yellows, the petal pinks, and the pretty in pink, and the different greens. See how the shading? It's so pretty. So this is using Enduring Beauty, and then because I don't know if you can see it, because you can, I added a little bit of Wink Stella, but make sure your card is completely dry. It has to be completely dry before you add Wink Stella, or the Wink Stella will act like a watercolor pen. So it'll just bleed everything together. But look how it just touched different colors. If I just touched it and it just made that shading so natural. And I didn't hardly have to do anything. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I really enjoyed doing it, and I think it's super easy. So, if you missed how to emboss first, go ahead. I did a quick tutorial on the embossing and then doing the flooding, and I would love, love, love to see what you did if you've tried it. I did finish this off since I had embossed this, and I tried different colors, and I thought, you know what, the black needed something. I embossed this in the black embossing powder. And then I felt like you needed a little texture behind that. So I just used an embossing folder and used a tone on tone and just embossed the texture behind it. And then used a few of those flat backed pearls that I colored with my, oh, I used a crumb cake. I used a crumb cake blend and colored those so that toned down that super bright iridescence. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you'll try it, and I hope you'll post your samples in my group. I'm going to go ahead and post this one for you. So you guys have a great day. Keep asking me questions. If you came on late, I'm happy to help you. Um, please enjoy. Have a great day. And remember, find something in the beauty of around you. Bye, everybody.